Play with the net.
Oh, we're playing under.
Yep. You got to go over it or under it.
Go over or through it.
All right. Just act like it's not there. Your serve will go under that. Your regular serve will go under that. Zero one. Oh, he didn't let bounce.
Yep.
0-1. Good ball. You. You help me. One. No. If it hits the net, it's done.
1-1-2.
Me. Yep. There's the net. You guys can go play now. And net's here for a lesson.
You kicking us out?
Kicking you out.
I'm just kidding.
How's the net?
Good, how are you?
Let's get one ball. Can we borrow one ball from you?
Yeah, take a couple.
Oh, that's interesting.
Let's go. Thank you.
So we're going to work on today.
Okay.
So we're going to work on the day. So what do you normally do to warm up?
So I usually, I do my own like stretches.
Right.
I do these kicks, just anything to warm up, these kind of things. Just legs, and then I also do some arms.
As long as you're doing something that's
yeah.
dynamic stretching,
Yeah,
it's help.
yeah.
Everybody wants to come out and, let's dink for a couple minutes and I'm ready to play. And the first game's a warm-up game.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, now I'm going for a ball I shouldn't, and it's done. All right, so I know what I would like to work on, but what do you think you have the most trouble with?
So sometimes in the front, and actually some people, one person said, oh, you're really good with, returning it. But I feel like it is kind of a weaker area for me. Obviously, getting the lobs, you told me about that before.
Right?
Let them go and all that.
Yeah.
So, we talked about this before, but maybe up here and really returning
Do you
it.
find yourself back here?
Okay, I do, but so last week when I was playing, one of the guys I was playing with kept telling me not to stand so close to that line. And I said, that's not how I was taught. He was telling me to get back in there. But I said, that's not how I was taught.
Yeah, the thing that happens is, and one of the things, if we do another lesson, I set the ball machine up, and I set it to where it simply puts the ball in the same spot every time, on this side and then on that side. And then I have you hit the first one from back there, right? I don't care where you hit it, I just hit it from back there. Then you go over and hit the second one from back there. Then the third ball, you come into the transition area and hit a ball here, and then a ball there, and then up here and up there. And after that goes about 20 times, you start to realize this is a really hard ball.
Yeah.
Because they're normally at your feet, you've got to come all the way down to hit it, and then what do you do with it? Either it gets popped up, unless you can reset it and put it back into the non-volley zone, it becomes a ball that just gets smashed.
Right.
So I have the net up for two reasons. One is you've got to keep your ball low to be competitive.
Okay.
That's that simple. You got to be able to drop it into the non-volley zone from anywhere on the court. But the other big thing is if you hit it that high, it's going to get smashed back at you. And if it is that high and you're hitting it, you probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because more often than not, that ball is going to be out. What tends to happen is we only remember, we remember that one hero shot that we got, right? And we don't realize that, the guy that hit the hero shot and the lob that dropped in, we did talk about it.
Yeah.
It drops in, it's a great shot, great. The other four he hit went out, and I got 4 of those points, he got 1.
Yeah.
So you let people have the hero shots. So let's start with just using one box and just dinking back and forth, keeping it as low as possible, over the net, all right? I'm not going to talk about, have I talked about red, yellow, green yet? Different spots on the court, different spots on your body.
I don't think I've heard that one.
All right, we'll do that in a second because it becomes important. I'm going to go over there. I tell people this a lot. It's interesting for me. I know I'm in the right spot because that line over there completely disappears for me. The net covers it up. If I go over there, you're going to be able to see the top of my shoes. If you back up, you're going to see more of my legs, and that's going to tell you I'm not where I want to be at. So without looking down and taking your look off of the entire court, you can look over, and if you see more than you expect underneath the net, hey, I'm not close enough. I just need to come up a little closer. For me, I can get right here, and the line disappears, so I know I'm right where I want to be at. All right? Hey. The other thing is, and I haven't seen you do it a lot because you do tend to use your lower body, is remembering to always use that lower body to soften the shot.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, because I could have a tendency to hit that out, for sure.
Right? The lower body, especially towards the end of a day, playing 6, 7, 10 games, if we're only using our arm, the arm gets tired. The ball starts going lower, lower, lower till it's in the net. If we get our lower body involved in it early, then not only does it soften it up, but it spreads the load across everything, and more power comes from the lower body than it does the arms, and we last longer.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So for right now, just easy dinking. We're not trying to win points, just staying inside of these lines. It's actually a really good ball. All right. Good ball. I love that you used your other hand. That's so close to going ahead and making a two-hand backhand that's something we definitely should work on, is getting that other hand involved, because you can get a little more power with that left hand. A good shot. Two things I want to do, because I kind of watched how you're dinking there for a second. Lot of arm. Literally, if you go down and up without even moving the paddle, you'll see that paddle does 4 to 6 inches with movement by itself. That will help those shorter balls by using that paddle out there and bringing it up using your legs. The other thing is, if you use that left hand and go into to almost a two-handed backhand, as we're dinking, as you get me closer to the middle, every once in a while that shot right down the line, not at the line, like a foot inside of it should be your target,
Okay.
is a good ball to add to once you get into one of these short battles. And there's absolutely no problem with that at all. I mean, again, even to go from here on down to using your left hand to help get that extra power on there if that backhand's a little weak. So that's the ball that gets smashed. That when you start adding wrist, you're a little short on it. Something that happens is when we get afraid of the non-volley zone, because we call it the kitchen and we don't want to be in there, right? Is we forget that the only thing that we have that we can't do in there is volley the ball. We can do anything we want. We can step in there and hit that ball instead of being stuck outside of here. There's nothing wrong with taking that step to help yourself, taking that step over here, and as long as you come back out and don't take one out of the air, it's perfectly legal and a good idea to start doing that, because you're kind of.
I am afraid. I was afraid to
Right. As long as it's bouncing, there's no issue stepping in it.
Okay.
You know, and even if it's going to bounce, you can be standing in here completely if you want to, as long as you let it bounce first. You know, if you ever see like a high lob that's going to be way short, a lot of people will stand back here and wait till it bounces. You can come right up here, let it bounce and smash it if you want, as long as you don't take it out of the air. And that's why trying to get into, everybody calls it the kitchen. That doesn't really describe what it is.
Right.
Calling it what it really is, which is the non-volley zone, means I can be here. I can be on this line, as long as I don't take it out of the air. So you've got a good athletic stance, but don't be afraid to take that step towards the ball or a step back, just always coming back to be right on the line. You can go here, there. When I talked about red, yellow, and green, especially in this area, there's two things I try to do. I try to think about my body and the body across from me. Because the big thing that I would say that will take you from where you're at up the next level is most people play in like a 3-foot circle around themselves. All you're doing at that point is you're reacting to the ball when it gets to you. You have to create time to decide and be able to hit shots that you want to hit. The only way you can create time is by bringing your gaze up. Do you have kids?
Just one. She's older.
Did you teach her to drive, or did hubby teach her to drive?
I taught her.
Do you remember when you first got in the car and she drove right at the steering wheel and everything was like this? We already had this conversation before?
I remember it, yeah.
Yeah. Getting out of this circle makes a huge difference.
Okay.
So if you start to see where the ball's coming off of my paddle, coming off of the server, you start to react first, and then you get over and get into a good position and then think about what you're going to do with that shot. Even if it's a half a second or a quarter of a second, if you can add that kind of time to each shot, you're not just reacting and hitting it. You start to realize, wait a second, he's back, he's up, where am I going? I'm going right through the middle of them. Or they're both right up here, they're spread out a little bit, I'm going down the middle. You know, you've got that backhand shot that they're squeezed to the middle a little bit. I'm going to take this one over there to open that up.
Okay.
And think about, well, if I move him over here, I'll do that a couple times to see what this person's going to do. All right, so I go over here, I notice that he comes and gets it, no problem. But there's another line that everybody gets in their mind, I can't pass that line. So he stays over there.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you've got this whole court that's wide open. By keeping your gaze up and keeping your focus on what's happening over there, it gives you more time to decide what you're going to do with the ball. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
That one's wrist. That's the one where, I know, I started on red, yellow, green, and then didn't go there. All right, so on the court, red is this first section. If the ball hits in there, there's not a lot you can do with it. You either got to just very softly put it back over the net, because if you do anything aside from that, it's getting smashed. All right, so ball bounces in there, that's a red zone. The middle third is a yellow zone. You have to decide what you're going to do with that ball. It's going to have to bounce, right? So I've got to wait on it, and I've got to have enough court sense to go, where are my opponents? What am I going to do with the ball? All right? By realizing that before it gets over your net, you may have the time to do it.
Okay.
The green zone is any section of the court that you can reach.
Okay.
All right? I'm telling you, you want additional time, you want to shorten their time. So if I take this ball out of the air, they've got less time to react. They've got less time to think. They may hit it, but the next one may be a pop-up that then I put away. So anytime you can take it out of the green zone in the air,
Okay.
it makes a big difference.
Okay.
All right? Our bodies are the same thing. Toes to knees are a red zone. If the ball's down there, the only thing I can generally do is I'm going to have to hit it at an upward angle to get it over the net. So it's either going to be soft enough to drop into the non-volley zone, or it's going to get smashed back. All right? That's where this transition zone, most of these balls are half volleys from down here. That's why try to get out of that area, or we got to learn to toughest shot in pickleballs. This one right in here. Learn to soften that one and reset it so you can get back up here. Yellow zone is knees to hips-ish. All right. Again, any ball that's in that area, you make a decision.
Right.
All right. Is it high enough for me to do something with? Should I go ahead and put a little bit of pace on it? Or should I just keep resetting it until they make the mistake? You get to make the decision. Anything above our waist is a green. All right. If it's right there, you put it away. If it's got pace on it, you let it go. All right. Until they show you they can drop it on that back line, let them go. If they get one in, great, they get one in. All right. But letting more balls go, and that's why this net's up here, as well as we don't want to hit up there. I want you getting used to any ball that would have been up here, you don't even hit it. And we have to shut our brains off, because the reaction is, for all of us, is we want to hit this ball. But if I don't even let the ball get to you, you're not going to keep practicing that shot. You want the ball to be in here or over into the back. Anything in here is getting smashed back at you. All right? Coming off the other side. If it's coming from their red zone, it's going to be on an upward trajectory. We either want, if it's soft enough, to smack it or let it go. If it's coming from their yellow zone, it's going to be coming dead straight. Again, you got to make a decision. Is it hit hard enough that it's probably going to go out? Let it go. If it's coming from their green zone, it's generally coming down at you and it's going to be in. You're going to have to, either get out of the way or make sure you're in a good ready position to take that ball back. All right? So I'm going to try to move you around just in this box. You're going to try to do the same thing. You're going to move you around. We're going to play a game to 5. We're going to play the point out. All right? 1. All right, it's out.
Yeah.
I went for too much. 1-1. Two to 1. Stop right there. Look down. It's only 6 to 8 inches, but all of a sudden you're having to stretch for those balls. So that 6 to 8 inches really makes a difference.
It does.
And
I gotta work so hard.
yeah, all of a sudden, again, you're having to lean, you're having to stretch, you're having to use your wrist. All of a sudden you're popping it up. All right. If I want to, I'm hitting those balls hard at your feet. There is a fear factor of I'm up here and people hit hard. But the honest answer is this is not going to make enough of a difference. Does that make sense? All right. All right, So I do have a question. So let's talk about your backhand.
Right?
Let's talk about your backhand for a second, because your forehand is considerably stronger. There's more pop. When you hit it there's more pop. You seem more comfortable. There's more control of what you're going to do with it. I don't normally, at our ages, I don't normally change people's grips. What other racket sports have you played?
I mean, I took tennis lessons, but that was
Right.
years ago.
Okay.
Years ago.
How comfortable are you with an actual full two-handed backhand?
I think I can be comfortable with that. Like, I don't
Okay.
know if that was the right way to hold it.
Yeah, actually, I would go, show me your regular grip. You've got a good continental grip, right? So with one hand, all right? When you go for the backhand, instead of putting the left hand at the bottom of the paddle,
Put it more at the top.
put it at the top, because that allows you to use, and again, we don't want a lot of wrist. Wrist creates angle.
Yeah.
Angle hits the ball out.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. Angle pops it up, angle puts it out. There's only, if our grip is tight, all right, to where from here to there, knuckle to elbow stays solid, we can pretty much control that the ball is going to stay inside the court. We then have to keep it from going up in the air to get smacked at us.
Right.
But solid wrist controls that paddle. If this is the shot and this just adds
Yeah, exactly.
a little bit to it,
Yeah.
you're going to get a little more pop off of there. You were going like this, and you were a little cross-handed, and you want to do this with it instead of
Okay.
coming over.
That makes sense.
Right? This is working, but unless you don't have contact, what's happening is the ball's hitting the paddle, coming back to your hand, and then you're having to push it, and it's not going every time.
Yeah.
So good firm grip to add a little bit to it.
Okay.
All right, so let's hit just those for a minute. And here's the ball I want you to try to hit. I'm going to hit to your backhand. I want you to try to hit it pretty hard down this line. I don't care in or out. I just want you to get comfortable hitting that ball. All right, hit it. Go ahead and put a little pop on it. All right. You notice how
I do this sometimes.
that's perfectly fine. Believe me, that's perfectly fine on that backhand to get a little extra power onto there. The big thing when you see that video between those two shots, the first time you hit it, it was all arm, and it kind of floated back there, and it was in. Not a bad shot. The second time you crossed over very nicely and put your body and your core into that shot, and drove a really nice ball down the line. That's what I want you to concentrate on, is using your lower body and your core to make that shot happen. Up. Nothing wrong with that. Little upward. If we can think about starting down here at like 5 o'clock and coming up and not cutting short, that follow through, there's a physics behind it that I don't completely understand. That follow through will help you get some spin on the ball, a little bit of top spin, and drive it forward instead of lifting it up. That's the ball right there. Thank you.